The following program is furnished by K1 International, LLC, and is responsible for its content. Now, from the 5th floor Cumulus Studios in downtown Dallas, it's time for Inside Real Estate. Here's your host, Michael Kruizinga.
Good morning, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. How we doing out there? Welcome to your Sunday morning. Welcome to a playoff weekend. Great playoffs this weekend. Got the Cowboys, Packers today, and going to be a great show. Hey, folks, website's InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com, and remember that because we've got so much going on at the website. We've got all kinds of articles going on there. Of course, you can reach all of our partners of the show at the website, and then, of course, all the social media stuff, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, the podcasts. You know, of course, we got iTunes and SoundCloud, so you can catch us there on the podcast. All the archives are there on the archive page. Lots of good stuff for you to check out. By the way, if you're actively looking at real estate, there's some great stuff for you on the website as well. You can download our app, get information on the app to your smartphone for the real estate search. That's good there as well. So all kinds of good stuff. Remember that website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. By the way, we have job openings, and they are the information on that is on the website. Hey, you want to work from home and make $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, even more than that. Working from home, who wouldn't want to do that? So, hey, give us a call if you're looking to make a change in your life and you want a little more flexibility in your life. Ideally, if you've had some kind of sales background in your life, that's great. If you've been in media at all, that is helpful too. But if not, it doesn't really matter. If you've done some kind of sales at all, it doesn't really matter. For example, even if you've done roofing sales, I got a deal for you. You don't have to climb on a roof anymore. You don't have to deal with the insurance adjusters anymore, and you're going to make more money. I mean, is that not a win-win? I mean, that's just one industry we can co-op into this position, and we will train. So, hey, if you're looking for a job out there, know somebody that's looking for a job out there, send them to our website, get them to connect with me, and we're going to see if we can't get them going. Hey, by the way, last week we talked to Randy Allen, which is head coach of Highland Park football, 5A state champions, and we had a great conversation with him. That is on our archive page and on the website. And best luck to him. He's going to be going to the Pro Bowl along with 31 other coaches that have been nominated for Coach of the Year. Each team in an NFL city nominates a high school coach, and he was nominated, so congratulations to him, and best of luck to him heading over to the Pro Bowl here pretty soon. And what a great coach. And by the way, we didn't get to talk about this when we spoke to him, but if you're aware of Coach Randy Allen, he wears the fedora and usually wears a suit on the sidelines, a tie, sometimes a short sleeve shirt with the tie. And so the interesting thing about that, and we didn't get to touch on this, is he, after Tom Landry died, he did it in honor of him, the game, their high school game afterwards. Mm-hmm. And then he was only going to do it one time. The game after that, they actually lost. And they decided that it was the luck of the fedora and they needed to bring that back. So really, ever since then, he's been wearing it. So that was kind of the interesting piece behind that. And, of course, he's very Landry-esque, very classy guy. A disciplinarian, but just that true coach, and really enjoyed talking to him last week, and what an amazing guy, and we appreciated him taking some time. So that interview is on the website. What else is going on? Hey, I want to talk a little bit about real estate. There was an interesting story on ABC News the other day. It was an ABC News special. And I'm talking about the hidden reality of what's going on with home ownership in the U.S. of A. And, we've had a great market here in Dallas and great markets here in Texas altogether for quite a few years. And so we've been kind of immune to what's really been going on out, in the nation. And on their research, and people are going to be surprised when they hear this, their research says that home ownership is at a low. And guess what kind of low it is? It's a 50-year low.
Wow.
They said. That's
That's crazy.
It is. Now, most of the stories they covered in their special were in the north. where homes are, you've got a 50-year-old home, and it's, really $100,000 home, $80,000 home at that time it was built, and now it's, it's valued at $800,000.
There are a lot of markets out there that are so incredibly overpriced.
Yeah. Yeah. The West Coast and the North, and we've kind of kept things stable and normal here.
Right.
But in all of these places, it'd be frustrating to live. I mean, how are you going to be able to afford a mortgage for that? And especially with so many of the manufacturing jobs, where there are a lot of what the North was about, for so long, and they're out of work. And so just some really heartwarming stories. And we've got it so good in Dallas, and we've got it so good in Texas. Some of these stories were just unreal. People living, people working full time, maybe multiple jobs, but living in the vehicle, and or living, at the shelter, and they're full time workers, and
or just renting the houses that they used to own.
Yeah,
because they got foreclosed on. It's rough.
Yeah.
Now, where's that article? What article is that?
This was an ABC. It was a TV special.
Okay.
And Diane Sawyer did it. And it was, they called it, I believe, Hidden Reality is what they called it. And it was a really good special. It was about an hour and a half special, something like that.
I think I caught the very end of that.
It was really good. Now, part of it was they talked a lot about wages. Wages being down, of course, and the wages for the lower end workers should be at least $15 an hour, et cetera. But of course, some of the panel they brought in, they're just, talking in theory, which is kind of part of the problem. They didn't talk about cost of living, and they didn't talk about inflation, which is the issue.
Right.
So, and do you think just because we're going to pay $15 an hour that the company is going to say, oh, okay, we'll just absorb that and not pass that on?
Exactly. It doesn't change the situation.
Even though our price goes up, we're going to keep everything the same, and
right.
You're not going to realize any increases on what you're paying.
Yeah, I mean, the companies want to have a profit margin that is so huge that we have issues with inflation, we have issues with cost of living, and if you're in a market where an $80,000 house 40 years ago is now $800,000 million,
there's a problem.
There's a problem right there, and for so many years since really, I mean, the building of new homes has been down since 9/11. We started to rebound before the 2008 crash, but then it went down after there, and luckily here in DFW and in Texas we've been coming up, but it was really sad. And so it was some good stories, some positive stories in there too, but it was really sad, and to see that we're overall the nation 50-year low, and to see some of these low end homes that are valued so high, especially a home that's so old. It's very, very frustrating. But, hey, great news. We're here in Texas, and we can take care of you. If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate, we want to talk to you. And, by the way, as long as you are willing to have an adult conversation about your real estate needs, then, absolutely, we can take care of you. But you need to spend 5, 10, 15 minutes on the phone with us. Let's see what's going on. Let's see how we can help you out. You need to understand that you got to put your big boy, big girl pants on, like we say.
Right.
And you need to talk to us. I had one yesterday, and they were wanting to know anything and everything only by text message.
That's so hard. I have so many customers that do that.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone.
I mean, we can have shorthand once the relationship is established,
right.
once we know who you are, what we need to do for you. Absolutely. We can text, we can email, we can do whatever's good for you. But to start out a relationship, and I have no idea who you are, I don't know, I haven't talked to you on the phone, don't know if you're real, you could be a 16-year-old kid for all I know that I'm texting back and forth with, and we're not going to do that. Have enough respect for yourself and your financial situation, and especially if you're married and have kids, for your spouse and your children, to say, you know what? Buying a piece of real estate is an adult thing.
Right.
I need to be an adult and actually have a conversation with somebody who's a professional.
Right. Might take a few minutes to to maneuver this transaction.
Exactly.
Well, it's only the largest investment that you make.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it. I know you can do so many things with your apps, and we've got the apps and all that stuff. But come on, people. Since when have people become so afraid to talk to another human being?
And I think that is it. A lot of times they're just afraid of the conversation.
They are, and maybe it's because they don't have their ducks in a row,
right?
And they know
and that's usually the case.
Yeah.
It really is. It's usually the case. But just like we've talked about so many times, you have to find that starting line.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a pass. You have to find that starting line, and you go from there. So, but yeah.
Folks, hey, don't be afraid of us.
That's right. We're nice.
We are super nice. We're actually pretty good at what we do. We want to help you. We're here to serve, but if we don't talk to you, we can't serve you. So.
Exactly. And not just that, it's just getting to know them. You can learn a lot of stuff about people through text, but you're never going to find out what's most important to you and how to help you best if all you're doing is texting each other back and forth.
Right.
Exactly. Absolutely. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break. Come on back. We'll see you in a few. When it comes to your mortgage and refinance needs, trust Terri Waggoner, our resident mortgage expert on Inside Real Estate Radio. With a wide range of financing options and competitive interest rates, you can trust Terri for a fast and reliable loan process with superior service. Go to terriwaggoner.com or 469-644-4818 today. Supreme Lending is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID number 207089, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas, 75032. SML Mortgage Banker Registration, Residential Mortgage Loan Originator. Folks, it's Mike Kruizinga here with Inside Real Estate Sports Entertainment on 570 AM KLIF. Did you know that virtually all of us will experience a fall in the bathtub at some point in our life? Well, statistically, it's true, and as we get older, a fall in the bathtub can spell disaster, as we just can't recover the same as we did in our younger years. Don't let something as silly and preventable as a bathtub fall put an end to all your special plans you have lined up for your golden years. Invest in a Hydrojet walk-in bathtub. Made in the USA and with the lowest step in the industry, Hydrojet walk-in tubs has your best interest at heart. With no commission sales staff or huge warehouse overhead, they build and sell direct to you, saving you thousands of dollars over their competitors. Call Randy, my friend and owner of Hydrojet Walk-In Tubs at 855-980-8827 or go to hydrojetwalkintubs.com. You'll be able to speak with Randy directly, and make sure to mention you heard about it on the radio. And for you veterans out there, there's a grant available for you to cover the majority of the cost of a walk-in tub, making it darn near free. Call Randy at 855-980-8827 or go to hydrojetwalkintubs.com today.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. Hey, the website's InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. By the way, if you want to talk to us about any topic, it could be sports, entertainment, politics, business, which is what we're here to do, give us a call. The number is 888-787-KLIF, 888-787-KLIF. Right now, we're going to do a little bit of mortgage talk with Terri Waggoner over at Supreme Lending Rockwall, our resident expert. Her website, by the way, terriwaggoner.com, terriwaggoner.com. She can handle all of your mortgage needs, whether it's a new purchase, a refinance, a Texas cash out, anything you're thinking about, give her a call. terriwaggoner.com is the website. And feel free to give us a call if you got a question for her right now. 888-787-CLIF. Terri, what's going on?
Oh, well, we're going to continue our discussion on credit because I think it's an important part of our puzzle that we have to put together here when you're purchasing a home. Yeah. So we talked last week about your payment history and the amount that was owed on each account that's on your credit report. Okay. And so the rest of the makeup of what goes into your credit score is the length of your credit history, your new credit that you have, and the types of credit that you use. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
So obviously, length of credit history, the longer you have an account, be it revolving or installment, is going to, that makes up about 15% of your credit score, by the way. It's going to make a difference. So a brand new account is not going to hold as much weight, even if you've paid it okay for the last 2 or 3 months, you've paid it on time. It's not going to have as much weight as the account that you've had for 10 years.
Right.
So someone that has had a credit profile for a longer period of time is probably going to have a higher credit score as long as they've taken care of that credit.
Right.
So you would rather pay the old card down than
Yes.
and just make the minimums on the current cards
That's probably I don't know how much weight it would give within the actual credit score, but just the account itself, as long as it's paid on a timely basis.
Gotcha.
I think you're good. As with any advice that anyone would give you, what you want to pay down is the one with the highest interest rate.
Yeah.
So, that's the one you want to pay down first. And like we talked about last week, you want to keep your credit card balances at 30% of the available credit. So if you have a $300 credit limit, you want to keep that balance at $100 or less.
Right.
Okay. So keep that in mind when you're paying down credit cards. So you may, if you've got 2 or 3 of them and they're all charged up, you may want to pay one down to the 30% and then start working on the second before you pay off that first altogether.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, and it's going to do a couple things. Not only be good for your score, but it's going to keep you from getting in some trouble with your interest as well. Because all of a sudden it can get out of whack. And you're like, oh, wow.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So, and we talked about last week too, it's okay for you to check your own credit score. So you can go to the annualcreditreport.com that we talked about last week. You can actually call the credit bureaus themselves, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, and get a copy of your credit report. And that's not going to put an inquiry on your credit score. How many accounts should you have? How many accounts do you think you should have?
You need to have a few.
You need to have a few.
Yeah.
And you need to have a good mix, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But what you don't want to do is open a bunch of new accounts all at the same time in a rapid pace.
Right.
Because that's going to look like you're up to something, So you don't want to do that.
They were sending me some good mail, and they all said 0 interest on balance transfers. And I was like, oh, great. I can take all these credit cards and stick them on these new credit cards, and then I can reuse the old credit cards.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So here's the most important thing that we'll talk about today. It's not necessary to get every credit card that you get an application for. You don't need that many.
But I've been pre-approved.
That's right.
That's right.
So the flyer says.
Well, also, I got this flyer that said the dealership, local dealership, said I was going to win $1 million if I just brought that flyer back down to the dealership.
Right. Right. Yeah. So don't do that either. But be careful how many you open up in a short amount of time, because that's not going to work. Yeah. And even if you have credit for a long time and you open up new accounts, that can still affect your credit score. So if you've got established credit report and you've had credit cards for a while and you open a new one, it could potentially lower your credit score depending on what you do with that card. Okay.
Yeah. If you don't need it, if you're established, like you say, you really don't need to open up new credit.
No, you don't.
It may not be a good idea for you depending on how much you have open already.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We all kind of need to learn to live within our own means, which I don't think we do real well sometimes.
Not so much.
Yeah. Okay, so what about credit inquiries? How do those affect us?
They're not good.
They're not good. They're not horrible, though. So 3 important facts to remember. Credit inquiries have a small impact. And I hear it every single time I talk to a customer. Well, I don't want you to pull my credit because it's going to lower my credit score. I heard that it's going to lower my credit score. Well, it will, but you're probably only talking 2-3 points. So if 2 or 3 points is going to ruin you, then we have another whole issue.
We got a problem. Yeah.
So, but that is the case sometimes. So
yeah,
yeah. So, and then there are other types of credit inquiries that don't really play into ruining your credit, lowering your credit score. So, but a mortgage and a car and things like that, those are going to potentially lower your credit score for just a couple of points. But we still have to pull the credit to see where we are.
Yeah.
Insurance will not.
Right. That's exactly correct, Richard. That's what I was going to say. Insurance and other things like that don't really affect the credit score. Another thing to remember is if you're shopping, they call it the shopping inquiry. So if you're shopping and you have me and 2 other mortgage lenders pull your credit, the very first pull is the one that's going to lower that score 2 or 3 points. The second and third will not, unless, of course, you spread them out. So if I pull your credit today, and then 3 months later you have someone else pull it, and then 3 months later you have someone else pull it, that's going to affect your credit score. Each time, probably 2 or 3 points. Okay,
Yeah.
But if you have in a couple of weeks time frame, if you have more than one person pull it, that second or third person is not going to affect the credit score.
Right. So you can shop around. People think, that they can't.
That's right.
But by the way, best rates are right here with Terri.
That's right.
Just
That's
saying.
right. That's right. Okay, so let's talk about credit mix real quick before I run out of time. Credit mix and the types of accounts that you have contribute to about 10% of your credit score. You can have credit cards. That's a good thing to have. Just use them responsibly. We've talked about that over and over and over. Different types of accounts. You can have the installment accounts. You need to have a good mix. You don't want to just have installment. You don't want to just have, the car payment or the jewelry store payment. I see a lot of that, and that be the only credit that you have on your account or your credit report is one finance company, and you have it 12 times. Go get you a mix of credit. Okay, so have you some credit cards, maybe 1 or 2, an installment loan, possibly a car loan, something like that. Just make sure that you have a good mix. And sometimes it's hard to get those. And what I've talked to a lot of customers this past week about is if you are starting off your credit and you don't have any, maybe a secured credit card is a good place to start. Because if you have no credit, it's hard to get credit. Because no one wants to offer you credit. If you have no credit score, well, we don't know what you're like, so we don't want to give you any credit. So a secured credit card, you put your own money in, you use that account for 6 months or so, then you go get you an unsecured credit card, and then you get you an installment loan, and you start building that credit. This is not an overnight thing. You have to work on building your credit.
Yeah.
And that's the reason it's important to start working with you early.
Right.
But I also heard that if you have a store credit card, that affects your rate more or hurts the kind of credit that you're using, whether it's a store like a Macy's card or some kind of card like that, rather than a MasterCard or...
Yeah, I don't have any research on that.
Okay.
So I don't know whether that's the case or not. I'm sure it probably plays into it. My personal feeling is that there are some stores, credit providers that hold more weight because you can tell when you're taking a look at getting a credit score up. So you want to do the what if. Okay, what if you pay this credit card down? Well, nothing happens. Okay, but what if you pay this account down? Oh my gosh, you just got 50 points. So I know that that's the case.
Okay.
There's no rhyme or reason that I've ever been able to find, and I just think some creditors hold more weight within the credit scoring system.
Well,
now, I don't know if they pay for that weight,
Right.
And I think that that's a possibility. That some creditors and some companies out there just hold more weight for whatever reason.
Well, ensure more prompt payments and payments in general.
Right.
Because they know they can punish you. And folks, you want to, if you're early on and thinking about your credit, be strategic about what you're going to get. Get some cards that have benefits. Maybe think about what you need in life when things happen. Maybe you need to have a Goodyear card or an NTB card.
Right.
A lot of those have benefits like 6 months no interest.
Right.
For a vehicle repair. Home Depot, oftentimes has the 6 months or 1 year, no interest. Why not take advantage of those types of cards, for things that you're going to need? You
right.
have water heater go out, you got to go buy one, whatever the case may be. Your airline points, your airline miles.
Those are good.
All those types of things. So think about some benefits and be strategic about where you're opening your cards. Just because they say you're getting 10% off today at the mall, that's not really a good benefit. Right. It's just that's help. Taking out a card, one of those really is no benefit to you whatsoever. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break, and we'll see you in a few. Far from the shores of home, two African-American U.S. Army privates fight for their lives on the battlefronts of World War II. The first Black War correspondents fight to cover the perspective of the black soldier. The novel A Private War weaves all this and more into an epic World War II era story of friendship, conflict, religion, and redemption. Get a copy of Private War, a novel by Perry Cockrell today, now available on Amazon.com. And tune in regularly to Inside Real Estate Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m. to hear Perry Cockrell, attorney at law, as he provides expert analysis of the latest and greatest in legal news.
If you have a timeshare, this time of year you're probably thinking about those maintenance fees coming due. Hi, I'm Karen Holloway, owner of LoneStar Transfer, located right here in the DFW area. Before you pay your maintenance fees, call us for a free consultation, 972-722-3166. We'll get you out of your timeshare and put a stop to those maintenance fees, guaranteed. 972-722-3166 or LoneStarTransfer.com.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we're back. InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Hey, time to do a little bit of business talk with Richard Tonihka over at Goosehead Insurance. His website, richardtagency.com, richardtagency.com. If you're thinking about auto, home, toys, or otherwise, Richard is your man. By the way, he can bundle different carriers, which nobody else can do. Only my man right here can do that. Shop over 20-25 carriers behind the scenes, carriers you cannot get to get you the best rates for everything that you do. But more importantly, the best policies just happen to come with these great prices as well. And so, Richard, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing today?
Excellent.
I'm glad Terry was talking about kind of what carried over from last week, because I'm kind of do the same thing and then just kind of go into a different area as well. But just remember that if you haven't looked at your policy in a while and you've had a change of job, a change in relationship status, all these things can affect your rate and or which carriers are best for you. If you were single or married and you had a change in that, married people often get better rates, and they especially get better rates on your auto insurance. If you got any big Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever holiday present that you received that was big, and you think it needs to be scheduled, give me a call and let me know. Also, in the past year or since you originally started with your home insurance, when you purchased your house, have you had any upgrades? Have you changed your flooring? Have you replaced a bathroom? Have you done anything or made any upgrades in this particular house that would affect or that need to be taken care of? Because if the carrier that we ended up putting you with had everything at builder grade, but now you've gone in and you made everything semi-custom or custom or designer, that's going to affect, if a tornado comes through, we're going to replace everything with builder grade because we didn't know that you made those upgrades into your house. And so making sure that you keep your insurance updated as your life changes is something that everyone really should do. It's protecting you and your investment, because you probably didn't make those upgrades when you purchased the house immediately, because you probably didn't have the money. And so, but if a tragic event comes by, or catastrophic event, tornado, a fire, or something like that, they're going to ask you to rebuild or replace or purchase a new house, and they're going to buy or base everything off of what was in the system. And if what was in the system was incorrect, it's just something that you need to do a yearly review of your insurance to make sure that you're properly protected.
Yeah, absolutely. One good thing to do also is, take photo inventory of all your belongings, and those big ticket items like you talk about. People forget about guns. People have some collectible guns, jewelry, artwork is another big one. These things need to be scheduled so that you're covered. Because who knows what can happen in your house. You've got a water heater in the attic, and then that ruins some artwork on the wall. Who knows?
But when you take pictures, don't post it on Facebook. But when you take pictures of your stuff, don't don't post it on Facebook.
Well, one of the things that I tell people to do is take the pictures, and if you have a Yahoo or a Hotmail or Gmail, whatever email system you have that is cloud-based or you don't have to be on your computer, send it to yourself. Because you're always going to have it in your inbox. If something happens, you don't have to run around with a jump drive or these pictures or anything else. It's going to be in your email.
Right.
And so you can pull that up and give it to the adjuster. And because when you're going through a total loss, it is amazing how much stuff you forget. Mm-hmm. You don't realize how much stuff you have until you have to go through and itemize and list every single thing that you have in order to get paid for it.
Right.
And that's the reason. And a lot of times you're just trying to get out of the house or you're not there and everything gets lost. If you don't have those pictures, you're kind of just going off memory, and most of us don't have good memory. I know I don't. And so I really do. I tell people, take pictures, email it to yourself. Yeah. That way you always have it.
Absolutely. And like you say, would review, annually and take pictures annually and, and stick it. You could stick it on a thumb drive and then stick it in a firebox, or stick it in a safe deposit box. That's another adult thing to do, folks out there. Have, put your, passport, birth certificate, all your financials, important stuff, copies of, either in a firebox, a good one, or a safe deposit box.
Or your gun case.
Yeah.
But going through that, I mean, the last thing that you ever want to have happen is to find out that you're not covered for something after the fact, or that you're not covered up to the limits that you think you should be covered. Which brings me to when you're first purchasing a home, you have your warranty and you have your insurance. And you make sure that all your customers have warranties, correct?
Home warranty?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I talk to all my clients about that product, and it depends on the market. And if we can get the seller to buy one, great, for the first year. If not, then the buyer may want to purchase it and may not. I just give them the pros and cons of it, and then, it's 100% up to their decision.
Oh, absolutely.
But we certainly try to make sure that the seller can pay for one if we can, or if not, get them one so they're at least covered for the first year. But beyond that, it's 100% up to them. It definitely got its pros and cons.
Yes, one of the cons is that you have to use their people.
Yeah,
and a lot of times that you have to wait for their people to come out and do an inspection or whatever, and you're going to be forced to use whatever companies that they want you to use. Correct?
Right.
Okay. The one thing that we don't want to have, or one thing that we don't want to have people happen, is you get into your new home. They didn't have all the information from the inspection and find out something's wrong with the house afterwards. And then once you get in, you start changing your floors. You start remodeling your bathrooms or whatever, and you find other things wrong with the house. Mm-hmm. Is that you have to have one or multiple insurance claims on your record within a month or two of moving into your new home.
That's not good.
No, each claim is going to adversely affect you. There are some carriers that if you have 2 claims within 3 or 4 years, they're not going to touch you. It doesn't matter that you just purchased a new home. A lot of carriers will give you a discount for purchasing a new home because they know that you've gone through and had an inspection. The seller has probably taken care of any issues that have gone on with the house or needed to be addressed before it transferred into your ownership. And so to them, it's almost like a brand new house. But when it's not, when the inspection company doesn't actually find the problems and they're in the walls, then you don't have any recourse really. You're either going to have to go through your warranty or you're going to have to go through your insurance. And so going in and starting off and limiting the insurance possibilities for your home is something that none of us want to do.
Right.
I use 25 different companies, and I'm able to get people the best rates by using those different companies. But at the same time, once we start limiting, this company won't accept people that have these kind of claims.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have multiple claims, these companies will not touch it. And so going in and making sure that you're dealing with, all your options. Because if we needed to use insurance, fantastic. And it could be the first day that you move into your house. Let's do it. Because what I tell people is I work for the people. I don't work for the insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
I work for you. I make sure that you're taken care of in a case of something happening. And going through, making sure that, do you want this to come out of your insurance, or do you want this, or can we handle this with your home warranty?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever had anything where you've had warranty issues where they've actually had to use that, or
The warranty?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because me and my husband bought a house not too long ago, and absolutely, we've used the warranty company 3 times, and we've lived there for 6 months.
And to me, it's, did you have a bad experience, or?
One time it was not a pleasant experience, and that was on a weekend. And the other 2, smooth sailing.
And
Loved it.
Anytime you have any kind of claim or any kind of unforeseen issue pop up in your house, it's always going to be inconvenient.
Right.
And you're not going to be in a good mood to begin with, because you've just committed to putting a lot of money and paying for a lot of years on it. And so you're not happy to begin with.
Right.
But going through that process is where I say it may be worth your time to take a day or 2 to wait for the home warranty company to do their thing. That's the reason that you purchased it to begin with.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and this just is it's another way that you protect the homeowner in maybe keeping their premiums down, keeping them where they need to be. If they have that home warranty, they can escape out on that. And it's kind of 6 1 half dozen other on what you decide. You may decide that $500 a year is better off sticking into a rainy day fund, and maybe earning, some sort of interest in some sort of program. But if you've got that home warranty and it's a big ticket item, there's no doubt far and away go that route versus the claim. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hey, folks, by the way, don't forget richardtagency.com is the website, richardtagency.com. Richard's going to take care of you. He's the expert in insurance, all things insurance. Catch up with him, home, auto, toys, or otherwise. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come on back. The Richard Tonihka Insurance Agency in Arlington has nearly unlimited resources when it comes to getting you the best insurance rates and policies for home, auto, and more. As part of the Goosehead Insurance brand, you, the consumer, have the power of choice through the Richard Tonihka Insurance Agency Network. Richard can quote over 20 A-rated companies to find the best fit for you, the best policy at the best price. Call Richard today at 817-286-2002. It's the Richard Tonihka Goosehead Insurance Agency, 817-286-2002.
Get your tickets for the 40th Annual Davy O'Brien Foundation Awards Dinner at the Fort Worth Club in Fort Worth, Monday, February 20th. This year's event will honor 2-time national championship winning quarterback Deshaun Watson and Legends Award honoree Jim McMahon. This is a black tie event and seating is limited. Contact the Davy O'Brien Foundation for more information at 817-338-3488. If you're looking for affordable sports fun for the entire family, visit Mavs.com/tickets today and get great ticket deals. Tickets to a Mavs game are some of the most affordable in the NBA. Friday is Superhero Night. See your favorite superhero in costume when the Mavs take on the Jazz. It's fun for the entire family, so log on to Mavs.com/tickets. And if you can't make it to the game, you can always catch games on the home of the Mavs, ESPN Radio 103.3 FM.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. It's Inside Real Estate. Mike Kruizinga here. Website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Time to talk exit strategy for your timeshares. We've all known someone that's had a timeshare. Maybe you have a timeshare. Maybe you want to get out of this timeshare. Well, you want to listen up for sure right here, right now. We're talking to the owners, Brian and Karen Holloway of LoneStar Transfer, based right here in the DFW area. They can absolutely take care of all your exit strategies, exit strategy needs for your timeshare. Karen, how's it going today?
It's going great. Thank you for having us. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. So, I know we were going to talk today about folks that, and we always say this, we're never out to, bash the timeshare companies because, for so many people, they provide a great experience, and that's exactly what those people want. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people that have had some very bad experiences. And but let's talk about those folks that have maybe had a timeshare for many years, maybe a decade, more, or 2 decades or more. They enjoyed it. They used it. They were very happy to have their timeshare, had a pleasant experience during that time using it. But now's the time where they don't use it anymore.
That's true. That is a big part of our business, actually, with timeshare owners that contact our office. They've had their timeshare for 30 years. And they loved it, and it was very exclusive when they bought it. And you had to actually own a timeshare to go to the resort, something that they really have like great memories of vacationing with their children and their family, and it's always been a great thing. But they have definitely come to a time in their life when they are just not using that timeshare anymore. And at that point, typically what's going to happen is they're going to start paying maintenance fees every single year, even when they're not using it. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to pay maintenance fees when you're using it.
Right.
And then every year when you get that maintenance fee bill, which is this time of year, and it really kind of brings it up to the forefront, and you're thinking, oh, for goodness sakes, you're going to have to pay this bill again, and you haven't used it in years.
Yeah, absolutely. And those maintenance fees could be, on the low side, $4,000 to $5,000. On the high side, they could be $10,000 or more every year in maintenance fees. And, folks, that's even if you've got a timeshare that is fully paid off. These are just those annual maintenance fees. And then, of course, don't forget those special assessments. There are special assessments that come up on a regular basis, depending where your property is. In particular, if the property, maybe you're exclusively at one property, that's in a hurricane zone.
Right.
Potentially, there could be those special assessments that come up with damage. Or just, general storms in general, wherever that, if you're tied to one in particular, everybody's got a different timeshare package. But, if you had it for 10, 20, 30 years, and, look, you're right. They were exclusive, back then. And it really honestly was a good way to travel. Travel was a little more expensive back then. It was a little bit more difficult. But now anybody can travel anywhere in the world for really, I just had an email the other day. This was some specials going to Europe. It was Amsterdam, Rome, Athens, and there was a couple other European options. This was on a United deal, and it was $400 round trip for any of those locations. So, look, you can travel anywhere in the world, and then, of course, there's these websites called, Hotels.com, Expedia, Travelocity, etc. TripAdvisor. You can get great packages anywhere to travel anywhere for fairly reasonable prices. And so totally different time and day currently versus back then when timeshares were like you say, very exclusive and very popular.
Absolutely. Another big concern to a lot of our clients is it was something that really worked well for them, but they also know that a lot of these contracts are perpetual, and it can go to heirs and successors and assigns. And their concern is they don't want this to end up with their children.
Right.
Because their children know today you can just go online, type in timeshare rentals. You can be at any one of these resorts in most cases without ever owning it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a website called Vrbo, VRBO, Vacation Rental by Owner.
Popular.
I've rented vacation homes, on that all the time. And generally it's, you just buy owner, condos, etc., whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's a totally different world. And, but for those folks that had the timeshare, they enjoyed it, and they were loyal timeshare owners, they're moving into the latter stages of their life. They're not using it. Kids are all grown, empty nest. They find out we can't get out of this thing, and they figure, hey, look, we've been loyal, we've been paying every year. We paid it off. Plus we pay our maintenance fees every year, which are extensive. You would figure that they would, have some pull with the timeshare company that, hey, we've been loyal members, help us get out of this. But no, they can't. And so they really do need your help to get out of this timeshare.
Yeah, that's true. So many of our timeshare owners have shared with us, they've just tried to get out of their timeshare every way they possibly could. A lot of times, timeshare owners are contacted by companies out of state over the phone promising to sell their timeshare. And in most all cases, that is just not going to happen. And it turns out to be a scam. And it's just another time that they've lost money.
Right. Yeah, and it's unfortunate when people, especially if they've been somewhat bamboozled, this is a different type of timeshare owner. There's the timeshare owner that has enjoyed it and loved it, but now it's time to get out of it. And then there's the timeshare owner that kind of got bamboozled. And we kind of run into that type of timeshare owner, fairly often, unfortunately. And, they also can fall prey to, and a secondary scam of the timeshare world, and that is there are other competitors out there that promise they can get them out of a timeshare in a very short period of time, and you just pay us and we'll get it taken care of, and they pay additional thousands and thousands of dollars just to find out 6 weeks down the road that nothing's going to happen. And, sorry, it didn't work out. But, you paid us for our time anyway. Thank you very much. See you down the line.
Yeah, that's never good.
And that's the second time that basically they've fallen, prey to, a scam in a sense.
Right, absolutely.
But you guys can, you tell them up front that, hey, it's going to take a while to get this done.
Yes.
And it just is what it is. It's a long process. Very well as a timeshare owner. You've more than likely tried to get out. It's very much ironclad. We're going to do the hard work for you, but it is going to take a while. We can get it done, but it is going to take a while. You're truthful up front about it, and, hey, you guys go to bat and you go to work for these guys, and down the line, hey, you get them out of their timeshare.
Yeah, so everything we do is 100% guaranteed, and I really think that's why it's so important. We offer a free consultation. There's really no obligation at all. We'd just love to talk to you or sit down with you and take a look at what you have. And that way we can at least give you some options and to see what might be best for you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. All right, folks. Well, hey, we've been talking to Karen Holloway over at LoneStar Transfer right here in the DFW area. Their website is LoneStarTransfer.com. Go to the website and touch base with them. They will get you squared away. Hey, no matter what boat you're in, maybe you recently just got, somewhat scammed into a timeshare. Maybe you bought a timeshare recently and it's not all it was cracked up to be, and you want to get out of it. Maybe you've been a timeshare owner for many decades and loved it, but now it's time to get out of it. No matter what situation you're in, LoneStar Transfer can get you out of your timeshare, which is what you're wanting right now. Folks, another good segment. Hey, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Folks, it's Mike the Realtor here from Inside Real Estate, and if you're not listing your property with me, bottom line is you're leaving money on the table. There are over 15,000 agents here in the DFW area, most of whom are part-time and do a few deals a year. Do you want to trust them to sell your home? I think not. Call Mike the Realtor, the radio realty expert from Inside Real Estate on 570 AM KLIF. Promise you will get to me direct. Go to InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Don't sell your home with just anyone. Go to InsideRealEstateRadio.com and connect with Mike the Realtor. With over 3.5 million square feet in 5 DFW locations, Ideal Floors has you covered for all your flooring needs. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, laminate, wood, or vinyl plank, Ideal Floors has you covered. And with their price match guarantee and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, they are the absolute best in DFW for all your flooring needs. Call Kevin Hamus, the owner of Ideal Floors, at 214-789-0422 or go to idealfloors.com for all your flooring needs.
Living in the DFW area, expansive clay soil and extreme weather conditions play havoc on homes' foundation. But thankfully, you can turn to Perma-Pure Foundation Repair of Texas, who has successfully repaired over 20,000 properties and counting in the DFW area. With the most trusted, tried and true foundation repair methods, trust the professional staff of Perma-Pure Foundation Repair to take care of your property, and most repairs are backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Mention Inside Real Estate Radio when calling Perma-Pure at 214-637-1444 or when booking online at permapure.com for your Inside Real Estate Radio discount.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. Hey, folks, don't forget, we're going to do a little headlines here, and we've got some great information here for you. But don't forget to check out all these stories at the website. Plenty of great information there. By the way, this segment is presented by our good friends over at Hydrojet Walk-In Tub. If you've got mobility issues or you know somebody that's got mobility issues, and it doesn't matter what age you are. You could be a veteran that's got some mobility issues, a young veteran. The Hydrojet Walk-In Tub product is an amazing product, lowest step in the business. When you have mobility issues, that's an extremely important thing, to just simply walk into the tub and be able to sit down, have the benefits of hydrotherapy, which really assist you, in all of your mobility issues. So no matter what age you are, if you have mobility issues or you know somebody that does, the Hydrojet Walk-In Tub product is amazing. By the way, it is the number one product in the industry and at far less of a price than the competitors. Made in the USA, by the way, and it is certified 100% made in the USA, and it's not parts made some other country and assembled here. None of that nonsense. It's all American made right here. It's an amazing product. Highly recommend it. You can go to their website, hydrojetwalkintubs.com, hydrojetwalkintubs.com, and then, of course, you can talk to Randy or Sheila, owners of the business who are our friends. Give them a call, talk to them about the product. By the way, if you are a veteran, there is a grant that makes this product free for you. So if you're a veteran, active, or you're out, no matter what, and even if you don't have necessarily major mobility issues or major disability issues, many veterans who've seen combat usually come back with some sort of injury, just like athletes do. And so why not take advantage of this product for you? Hydrojet Walk-In Tub. It's a hot tub that's inside for your bathroom, and there's a VA grant for that. So take advantage of it. Get with Randy on it. By the way, a website, hydrojetwalkintubs.com, and Randy will take care of you. So that's that. I wanted to get that out to you. We're going to do a little bit of headlines for the rest of the show. Got some interesting information. Got some interesting things going on out there. The head of the D.C. National Guard, I don't know if you guys saw this, the Washington Post had this story, and Major General Errol Schwartz will be departing, but the timing of it is so odd because he's going to be departing during the inauguration. And, of course, he's actively supposed to be managing the troops on the ground that are going to be securing the inauguration as well as the parade. So just a very odd timing. And, in fact, Schwartz himself said in an interview on Friday morning, the timing is extremely unusual. There's another 5,000 unarmed troops, that are dispatched from across the country to help, in addition to his troops that he manages as well. So it's just an odd time for that to do it. It is not odd for, and this position is appointed, by the way. It's not like in the States where the governor has complete authority over the National Guard. In D.C., it's appointed by the president. And so it's not unusual to see appointees, leave after a new president is inaugurated, but someone who's active in duty during the inauguration was just odd. And the information on why was not really forthcoming. Trump organization said that they accepted the resignation. So who was kind of letting him go and why at that time was just so odd.
Right.
And,
I read that too.
And everybody that was commented on it in intelligence and in the military was like, this is just bizarre. Just bizarre. So it's hard to say who and why, was the Obama administration trying to force him out at that time? Was Trump wanting to get rid of him at the time? But either way, that's not a good decision.
Right.
When that person is going to be very busy.
Exactly. He's sending all the troops out, but he won't be there when they come back in is the line in that article that kind of stood out to me.
Right. And what's kind of scary is that there's been so many stories about things going on, potentially things going on during the inauguration, protests and the like. That's why that's not a good combination.
I think that's very dangerous.
You got a gazillion stories about protests and shutting the parade down and all these things. Then you have, the guy who's supposed to be managing the National Guard on the ground. And by the way, we're going to let you go, but we're going to wait exactly until 12:01.
12:01.
Very odd, very, very odd. So you can look up that story. That one's on the Washington Post, but then, of course, there was a couple other stories about it as well. Here's another interesting one. The DHS, Jay Johnson, the Secretary of Homeland Security, they've decided that something new is part of the critical infrastructure, in quotes, and that is the election systems. And, of course, that's pretty much everything that goes along with that. So that has been, to a degree, federalized, which is kind of odd as well. And so there's a number of stories on that. I've got a story from The Hill. And by the way, these are on our Pinterest page, and most of them are on the website as well. And then there's another one from Zero Hedge, which was interesting, a little more detailed actually than The Hill, surprisingly. And that's an independent website, the Zero Hedge. So that was interesting that the Obama administration and DHS, Homeland Security, decided to sort of federalize, if you will, make critical infrastructure the election system. So that was kind of weird too. Interesting there. Neil Cavuto went on a rant the other day on Fox News.
When does he not go on a rant?
You know what? He goes on pretty good rants, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He sure does.
We've talked about that before. He just kind of tells it like it is to a degree. This one was a little bit of a whiner. If I'm being honest, it was a bit whiny, but I can see where he's coming from after everything's been going on the past few years. But he said, payback is a golden beach in the sun, is what he said. And so that was pretty funny. You can read all the stuff that he said. I don't want to get into all that. And here's another interesting one. By the way, we remember that Obama decided that the missile-based defense shield in Poland and Czech Republic was canceled. This was back in like 2009, 2010. But he just decided to send 3,000 troops into Poland.
Yeah.
What?
Why?
What? Another odd move in the last, week or two prior to the inauguration. So that's extremely odd. Why does everybody want to, pick a fight with the Russians?
Why not?
We don't need we don't need the new Cold War.
No, we don't.
We really don't. And that's about it for headlines for now, folks. That's all we got time for. Hey, we're here every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. See us every Sunday here live. Website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Have a great weekend, folks. We're out of here. Neither the hosts nor the guests or contributors of the show Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga are attorneys, CPAs, tax advisors, or investment advisors, and are not providing legal advice during the course of the show. If you need professional legal advice or services in any of those categories, please seek the appropriate professional. The host is a licensed real estate agent in Texas with the Chris Arnold Premier Realty Brokerage, a fair housing broker and member of the MLS. Texas real estate agents are prohibited from providing legal advice.
The preceding program was furnished by K1 International, LLC, and is responsible for its content.